Skylar, let's begin with you. Look, you know, I just reflect what our viewers and listeners are thinking on this, and they say, well, it might be distasteful, but has anybody got a better idea? Could I ask you, do you have a better idea?
Well, currently human rights groups view the scheme to be unlawful, procedurally unfair, and constituting a serious impediment to access to justice. And it is important to note that removal to a safe country where a person's human rights would be violated would not be lawful. And if an individual would be exposed to torture or degrading treatment in a certain country, it would not be lawful to send that person to that country. And it has been pointed out that Rwanda's situation for the LGBTQ community is poor, and it is anticipated that human rights concerns may come to light as a result of that. And in addition, a further concern might center on whether adequate measures exist in Rwanda to protect a refugee or asylum seeker against the forcible return to a country where they may be subjected to persecution. And the UK government has not said what it would do if people sent to Rwanda end up having their human rights breached in Rwanda, or if those individuals are sent to a country where they could be persecuted.
Thank you for outlining all of that. Has the British government said in any way they will continue, from a Guardian point of view, that there's still a responsibility and onus on them to monitor what is going on?
There have been no clear guidelines currently on that matter, and lawyers are said to be directing their attention to getting those individuals removed from the flight, the 7 individuals that are left. And so those seeking to resist removal on today's flight will need to rely on the outcome of urgent individual challenges. And many individual challenges have already succeeded in securing a temporary pause on removal, and it remains to be seen as to whether there will be anyone left to send to Rwanda today.
Michael Brown, I want to ask your opinion about this letter that the Archbishop of Canterbury and of York has written, along with the 23 bishops of the Church of England. They've written in the Times newspaper today and described this as an immoral policy that shames Britain. And this comes just days after Prince Charles, who will be the future head of the Church of England, also called it appalling. Do you feel a little bit ashamed of it?
No. I think that we have to remember that the people of this country don't vote for the Archbishop of Canterbury. They don't vote for the Prince of Wales. They vote for an elected government on the basis of its election manifesto. And this government was elected with an overwhelming mandate just 2.5 years ago to deal with illegal immigration. Now, they've had no cooperation whatsoever from the EU or from President Macron. If we cannot go on being an open door policy where immigration is concerned, something of the order of 28,000 illegal immigrants have been trafficked by the most appalling criminals into this country with no assistance whatsoever in terms of the European Union or President Macron. And the government cannot allow itself to be in this situation indefinitely forever. I mean, I saw protests outside the Home Office yesterday with placards saying, open our doors. Well, our doors are open already. And the strain this is going to put on the tolerance of the British people, the social services, the education system and the health service if we have absolutely uncontrolled illegal immigration. So the government has got to respond to this, and it is not archbishops who run the country. It is not, with respect to the Prince of Wales, the royal family that runs this country. It is the elected government on the basis of their manifesto.
OK, and Skylar, could I just ask you, listening to what Michael's had to say, and honestly, I do have to say that by, I would say 90% of people who get in touch with us reflect what he is saying on this. Is your problem with Rwanda as a destination, or the whole concept, the whole policy of subcontracting almost these people?
Provided provided it is done in a humane way, there may not be an issue with it. A humane and legal way, there may not be an issue. And Priti Patel did say that the goal was to put an end to people smuggling, and that is an issue. And so under the new arrangement, anyone who crosses the channel by small boat could be relocated to Rwanda, and she claims that the new policy will deter illegal entry and be a major blow to evil people smugglers. And there is an explanatory note to this bill, and it states that the purpose of such a model is to manage the UK's asylum intake and deter irregular migration and clandestine entry to the UK. So as long as there are clear, humane and legal manners in which they approach this, then there may not be an issue.
Final thought then from you, Michael Brown. Do you actually think that this will work?
Well, that is an open question, but the government has tried everything else through the negotiation with the EU. Remember that the international law states that if you are a genuine migrant fleeing from persecution, you should seek legal entry into the country that you first arrive in, which is usually within the EU. And the EU are basically allowing migrants to mass on the coast of northern France to come to one country only. It is ironic, isn't it, that everybody trashes the United Kingdom, but migrants only want to come to the United Kingdom.
That's not statistically borne out, though, is it, Michael? I mean, actually, a lot of countries take far greater numbers of people arriving into the European Union than the UK. It's not...
They may take them, but at the end of the day, France is supposedly a safe country. France is simply allowing and encouraging illegal migrants to come to the United Kingdom. There has to be a situation one day when the government, if it doesn't respond to the public demand for controlling immigration, especially illegal immigration run by these criminal trafficking gangs, the public will, I'm afraid, respond in very unfortunate ways, and we cannot allow that to happen.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.